Chrissy Harris and her Thoroughbred Sport Horse Association have done a wonderful job organising thoroughbred shows around Australia. Their inaugural national championships here at Stonewall in New South Wales have drawn together a huge number of sponsors with great prize money for the competitors and some wonderful stories coming out of the weekend. Chrissy, congratulations. What an incredible weekend it is here at Thoroughbred Sport Horse Association National Championships. Can you believe it's all come together so well?
I'm just absolutely gobsmacked at the help and the support and everybody pulling together to make this happen. You know, the helpers, the sponsors, the racing industry and the competitors. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, well, we've just seen an incredible 6-bar, wound up at a $1.75 and Charlie Richardson, he's a super talent, isn't he? He's only a young fellow, the son of Blair and Nikki Richardson, and he was just sensational, but so were all the other riders.
It was an absolutely fabulous class. 36 started. And I think we had one only tiny fall. Rider made a bad decision. That happens in any part of the world. And the rest of it was unbelievable. For Charlie at such a young age to have such a feel for horses is just, it's just what this is all about. You know, he's too big to be a jockey. He might want to break in like Dad in later years, but this is his competition field and he's on a thoroughbred.
Maverick, I mean, what a wonderful thoroughbred too. In fact, to see all of these thoroughbreds in this particular class jumping so high and so cleanly, it just shows an incredible talent and the athleticism of the breed.
Well, the little horse that came second, Emily Patterson, 20 years of age. Now, how fantastic is that? He's fit, he's well, just jumped his little heart out, only touched the last rail, and he's been in our game for the last, I don't know, 15 years.
10A. Here we go, Michaela to the last. Clear, well done.
And it was so great, Thoroughbreds ago. We really enjoyed sponsoring some of the dressage classes. It was fantastic to see some of those competitors. And then also here in the first class of the morning too, a sensational result with just such, again, clean jumping and so much excitement amongst the competitors and the onlookers.
Well, I think it was a day for the young people today because Michaela Fenwick won your Thoroughbreds Are Go class and she did it in fine style. She was 5 seconds in front of the field.
It was quite spectacular. And then, of course, your other big sponsors. I mean, John Singleton, Strawberry Hill Stud has been phenomenal for this, but there are so many others as well. Peachester Lodge, the Huddies. Of course, we see Frank and Christine Cook, Mystery Downs, Roderick Lodge. They've been great supporters for a long time. You know, the Gay Waterhouse fence, the Snowden fence. The list goes on. You've done a great job bringing them all together.
Thank you very much. But look, I think it's the racing industry as a collective that is really trying to help us do the right thing. You know, as competitors, we're all loving it. And I just think it's fantastic. It's a great collaboration between the sport horse industry and the racing industry.
And the level of the elite competitors back riding thoroughbreds, well, people like Shane Rose, he's obviously ridden thoroughbreds for a long time, but, you know, Olympians such as Shane, Vicky Roycroft, we saw Shanae Lowing is just coming back from Italy in the World Championships. This is an elite event.
Very much so. And hopefully they'll pick it up in other areas of the world, because I would really love now to throw down the gauntlet to England and to America to say our thoroughbreds have just jumped 175, guys. Bring it on, see if you can be better than us.
Yeah, and some fantastic results too. We've seen, you know, the teams events that you've set up here as well. We've seen, you know, whether it be Inglis, Godolphin, the BreedNet team. We focused on some of the young girls that were riding as well over the weekend. And it's so exciting to see them, you know, they're actually developing their thoroughbreds. These aren't horses that are tried horses that have done all this for years. They're actually starting out with new young thoroughbreds and they're having a ball.
Look, they're having an absolutely fabulous time and they're doing a really good job. You know, they're young, they're athletic, they take direction really well. And I think, you know, between Craig and Tara from BreedNet, you know, Craig and Tara, well, Tara especially, knows a hell of a lot about starting horses. And she was the one that put her hand in the air and said, okay, BreedNet is going to sponsor the maiden teams. And that it helps our older horses and it also helps our younger riders. So I think between all of us, between all these guys sponsoring teams, Thoroughbred New South Wales has a maidens team, and it's just fantastic that we've got two levels of teams. So we've got the up and coming, the intro level, and then on Sunday, bring it on for the Racing Teams Challenge.
Recruiting to wins, coming home strongly now. It's recruiting to win, coming after Foxy Free.
My boss had messaged my mum about him and had said I have a horse if Lily wants to have a try at retraining him, and we said yes, and he's been really good to bring along and he's fun, so it's been amazing.
And you're actually doing the work with him. It's not as if you've taken on a horse someone else has trained. Tell me what, the development. I mean, there's a lot of work you have to do, isn't there?
Yeah, the start was really hard, but he taught me so much, and I think it's been helping with my riding on pit crew as well. So it's hard, but it's worth it in the end, seeing the progress and seeing how it all turns out in the end. So.
They're obviously very intelligent, aren't they? But how would you describe him when you're riding him? Is he, a good mover? Is he listening to you? What are his attributes?
He's a good little young one. He listens to what he's told, does what he's asked. He has a few times where he overjumps stuff and sends me a bit forward, but yeah, he's been pretty good to bring along and ride.
The whole of Stonewall's fantastic, but the new stables and everything, it really makes it a lot better for you as a competitor, doesn't it?
Yes, it's amazing. Such a good facility around here for the horses.
What you're doing with him now, the training, it's going to be an advantage not only to him in his future, but also to whoever takes him on next.
Yes, definitely, because I have 2 more young ones that I'm bringing along, so it'll help a lot with them as well. And yeah, hopefully he gets a good little next owner.
I was on smaller ponies or kind of Galloways, and they were really good to build up confidence and have fun while I was younger and go a bit faster. But now I've moved on to my Thoroughbred Mudgee Road and slowing things down and getting more consistent. And so yeah, I've had Mudgee for a year now, and he's my first Thoroughbred.
What do you find when you're riding him? What's he like?
He's really beautiful to ride. He's got a lovely, willing temperament, and it's very different to I feel my previous ponies and smaller horses. I feel like it's easier to bond with him and get a bit more understanding with him, and he listens to however I'm, what mood I'm in, he'll go off that, and yeah, I think it's really good. I'm very appreciative of everything, and I'm really excited to represent the team, BreedNet, and give it our best shot. I would love to keep on pursuing a road with Thoroughbreds. I think it would be a really great opportunity, and it's great for the Thoroughbreds as well to retrain them and give them a second chance.
We've just seen you do a round on Soloway, and it's really exciting to see these Thoroughbreds out here competing. There are so many that people are really training to a very high class level.
Yeah, it's so amazing to see them out and about, and I've fallen in love with the Thoroughbreds really, and my last horse, he was an amazing Thoroughbred who competed in the high juniors, and I don't know, he helped me fall in love with them.
Riding a mare, some people are, a bit hesitant about that. How do you find your girl?
Well, I got her as a 3-year-old, and she is a bit tricky. She can be a bit quirky, but honestly, she just gives it her all, and I think that's the spice that the mares have. They just always try their heart out and love their job. With my Thoroughbreds, they've always been amazing horses to me. They have amazing personalities on and off, around the stables, and I just know that they'll always try their hardest.
Now then, here's an interesting combination. Jeff Penza and Bojang, very passionate about his show jumping.
And I just love as well the crossover of the racing and breeding world. You see a Jeff Penza and Michelle, Kathy O'Hara, Charlie Duckworth, Rachel King, Rachel Murray, Ray Louise from Fernrig. She was on a young Sebring horse and only 5 weeks after having a baby. But that crossover is so important, isn't it?
Oh look, I think it is, and I'm absolutely loving it. And there's going to be a crossover back again, because a lot of these young kids, especially the kids from the BreedNet team, they're the kids that are going to go and work in the racing industry. So I think in a funny way, we are giving back to the racing industry well-trained equestrians.
It really does signify the work you've done here and across the board with Thoroughbred Sport Horse. A real changing of the guard of these Thoroughbreds being seen now. They're getting out, they're competing, they're getting sort of experience. So they can go on to more elite events, as well. So the changing of the guard, from the warm blood days back to the Thoroughbreds, it's just getting stronger and stronger.
100%. I think we are really nailing it. And what I've found doing this Australian Championship, we have competitors from Perth. and competitors from South Australia, from Queensland and New South Wales. So it's a national championships and we've got national people. And I think what I would really like to push is that welfare is actually a national problem. Welfare should not have a border. It should be a national problem and a national sort of approach to fixing it. And what I'd really love to see is Racing Australia at the helm of welfare for Australian thoroughbreds.
I mean, every state, I guess, has to raise money in its own way, and that's just the way, being government bodies, a lot of the PRAs, how they operate. But you're absolutely right. It shouldn't be too hard to work together and find the best models for what is going to work of all the rehoming programs around Australia.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, because what we do need to do, you know, you have a beautiful horse that might be bred in New South Wales. It gets sold at the Magic Millions in Queensland, gets broken in up there, then it goes to race in Victoria. It's not quite fast enough, it moves across to South Australia, and then it gets sold. So now who's responsible for it? It's been 3 or 4 states of our country. And those are the horses that slip through the cracks when we have a state-based welfare system. So if we had a national-based welfare system, you know, sure, the money raised in each state should stay in each state as far as I'm concerned, but with a national approach, I think we're going to nail this thing.
So looking ahead, now you've had this first successful national championships, what are the plans for, you know, in the next 12 months?
Well, the next 12 months, I think the next one, we had to put an extra dressage arena on. Diwali Dressage Arena divided into 2 because they did such a good job, the dressage people. So I would like to see a whole day of dressage, a whole day of show horse, and then jumping. So I think it's going to be a 5-day championship next year.